welcome to another session of Creating with Christine. I'm Christine, and today I am so excited to bring you a workshop or a tutorial on making our 3D roses. Of course, I'm going to be using our fantastic Art Philosophy Cricut Cartridge. I'm serious, I do not create anything without using this little puppy. So today we're going to talk about the 3D flowers. So on the template overlay that you lay on your machine, we're going to be using the font creative function key, and the 3D flowers are going to be down in this bottom right corner. So when you select the font creative function key, these images change to a whole new set of 100 images. And here we have the font, punctuation, numbers, photo corners, borders, and border layers, and also the 3D flowers down in the corner. So let me show you what these flowers look like briefly here. Starting with the far bottom right, we have kind of a wavy looking rose. So this is just plain, it's not even glued together yet. Just to show you, this is as large as it can be on a 12 by 12 mat. And here it is kind of inked and curled a little bit, so you get a little different look. The next one over is going to be kind of a spiky little cactus flower. These make great little bitty flower centers. Here it is, again, kind of curled and inked. Reminds me of one of those straw flowers. The next one over here is going to be a kind of a water lily looking flower. And then here it is again inked. I love this one. You can do a lot of fun things with this. Inked and curled. Now starting up using the shift key and this bottom right key, you're going to have kind of a modern spiral rose looking shape. And these are great, I think, with glitter around the edges. So that's that one. The next one over is a rose with kind of the spiked tips, which makes kind of a fun shape. And here it is in a colored version. And then this one right here is the one we're using today, what I refer to as the traditional rose. And so you can see in the different colors, just to me it looks like a traditional looking rose. And today, I'm not sure how well you can see this, but this is the bouquet we will be creating today. So I'm excited to show you how to do roses and baby's breath. So what I want to start with first is the rose. So here when you cut it out of your Cricut, this is what it's going to look like, a spiral shape. This is a 5-inch rose. And since we're using the Close to My Heart cardstock, there is a white core which is fantastic for distressing. But in this case, I want to hide that. So I'm just going to ink the edges of my rose, ink the white edges there to hide that. Now, typically I use a tone-on-tone ink, so this is creme brulee paper, and I would use creme brulee ink just to get a more natural look. But in this case, I'm using an accent color. This is smoothie ink, because in my bouquet, I also have smoothie flowers, so this just helps kind of tie them together in the bouquet. I'm using a sponge to ink my edges. We also have sponge daubers. We also have foam tools, but the sponge is so economical. You can cut it apart. As you can see, I've just cut a little piece off here, cut it in 4/4, 6/8, 8, and you can squeeze it to get into little crevices if you like. Also, another little trick I learned from the fabulously artsy Teresa Black is you can use a eye makeup sponge to get into the little cracks if you want for your sponging of your creative projects. So as you can see, I'm down to the center here. You can also do the back side. I think I'll do just quick little bit of inking here. Typically I just do the front because that's what's most noticeable, but of course you can do whatever you want. You can even ink it after you put it together, maybe add some finishing touches, or if it looks like you've missed a spot, so that's totally cool too. All right, now I've got my flower, and I'm going to take a set of tweezers, and I'm going to roll from the outside in. So if you've only got ink on one side, you want that ink on the inside of your roll here so that it will show when the flower's finished. So you just continue to roll into the center of the flower. And sometimes I like to hold my finger on the end to keep it from unraveling. It doesn't matter which way you roll, if you're right-handed, left-handed. Like I said, if you want your ink to be more prominent, it should be on the inside, or if you ink both sides, it really doesn't matter. So now we've got this little base in the middle, and I'm just going to kind of wiggle out my tweezers. Don't be afraid to let go. Let go and let it kind of unfurl, and then you can take that base and just sort of shape it around your rose. So already we've turned a spiral into a realistic looking rose. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to do is glue it so that it doesn't continue to unfurl, especially with weather. I'm using liquid glass, and again I learned this cool little trick from Bren Yule. Just add a piece of Scotch tape to the front and stick a pin in there in case you need it to clear the tip. So on this base I'm going to add a puddle of liquid glass. Not a little dab. Typically we don't need very much liquid glass. It's a super strong adhesive and embellishment, and we just need a little bit. But in this case, my rose is the only part that's going to adhere to the bottom are the edges of the curled rose. So I want to make sure there's plenty of liquid glass in there to grab those edges and hold them in place. You can continue to kind of shape your flower. You can roll it tight if you want it to be smaller. You can let it kind of expand a little larger. It's totally up to you. Liquid glass is not necessarily a quick dry product, so you'll have to hold it in place just to get it to begin to set, you know, maybe about 15-20 seconds or so, which seems like forever when you're holding a piece of paper, but in any case, once it looks like it's beginning to grab, you can set it aside to dry completely. So in this case, I have one that has already dried. So the next step in our assembly project is to take a piercing tool and pierce right through the center of your rose. Okay, so now the rose is all prepped. I am using a cloth-covered floral wire. This is 18 gauge wire. And I'm also using a branch from the Art Philosophy. The branch image will be found just with the regular set of keys. It's right here. It's called branch 1. So using the shift key, 3 over, 3 up, this is the branch you will get. And this branch I cut at 4 inches. My roses I cut at 4, 5, and 6 inches, just a variety of sizes. So now the next step for me is to, actually, I'm going to trim off the bottom of my branch here, just because I don't need that much. The other thing I want to do is you can score down the center if you want for more dimension on your leaves, but I'm just going to take my piercing tool, just kind of curl them a little bit to give them a little bit of dimension. So I've got a little more realistic, not so flat of a branch and the leaves on my flower to give it even more of a realistic look. All right, so now just apply liquid glass down the center of the branch, like so. Then you're going to take the floral wire and just kind of bend that top leaf down a little. You want just a tad of the wire to be sticking above that branch so that we can add our rose to that. Now for the branch, initially the liquid glass is going to transfer from the paper to the wire, and it's not necessarily going to stick very well. So this is where you need a little bit of patience. Again, you can also choose. Okay, sorry about that. I had to change the batteries in my camera. So you will simply press the branch down onto your cloth floral wire and just kind of squeeze it. Like I said, be patient until it grabs, and then as the liquid glass soaks into the cloth and becomes saturated, then the paper can adhere to that saturated cloth. So once that dries, and I should say, let it naturally fold around. Since the branch has a little bit of curve to it, it shouldn't just be straight up and down. You'll want it to curve around. Just let it naturally go the way it wants to go. Then you can kind of tweak the leaves afterwards. But what I want to show you next is what we're going to do with the rose. So this top leaf that's got a little bit of the wire sticking out, we're going to take our rose that we poked a hole through with our piercing tool and just kind of add it to the top for stability. Again, we're going to take our liquid glass. What I want to do is add just a bit to the leaf, and we're going to adhere the flower to that top leaf. That way, the flower is stuck to the wire for stability, like I said, but it's actually attached to the leaf. And of course, the leaf is attached to the branch, which is attached to the wire. So there you go. So that is your rose. Really not too difficult. Just takes a little bit of patience. And of course, once you're done, you've got it for a lifetime. No watering, no fertilizing, no pulling off dead petals. So that is the rose branch. The baby's breath is going to be very similar. I'll show you the slight differences. So for the baby's breath, I used branch 2, which on the cartridge is going to be up here using the shift key. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over and 2 down. So that's called branch 2. And this is what it looks like. This branch I cut out at 1.5 inches. And what I did was put together 3 of these branches. Again, you'll add the liquid glass like before and then add it. So add them, of course, one at a time. The difference in this case is you're going to add your flowers. So for the baby's breath, I have the same rose flower shape, only it's 1 inch rather than the 4, 5, or 6 inches. And you're going to glue that flower directly to one of the leaves sticking out on your branch. So that's what I've done here. So I added 3 branches and 4 or 5 flowers, depending on what you prefer. So that is the rose bouquet. Easy peasy, right? If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. And very quickly, I would like to say this month when you join my team, you will get this fabulous Art Philosophy cartridge and collection absolutely free. It comes with 3 coordinating stamp sets, 3 sheets of coordinating chipboard. Retails for $99, is actually valued at about $125. It's yours for free. So with a kit of $99, you will get over $400 worth of product in the month of March when you join my team. Contact me for more details if you'd like, or you'd like to talk it through. I'd love to have you join my incredible team. Have a great day.